Hey everybody, my name is Jonathan Mercado. In this video, I'm going to break down what an IUL is as simple as possible. Do me a favor, like and subscribe so more people can see and understand this strategy. I also just recently wrote a book, The Lift Method, Knowledge is Power, the stuff they don't teach us in school. If you want, you can grab it on Amazon, and it goes more in detail of how this works. So you've heard IUL is a scam. You might have heard that it's only for rich people. Both are wrong, and in the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly how it works. Now, wealthy people don't rely on luck. They keep more of what they make. Their money grows, and they're able to access it tax-free. They don't lose money when the market crashes. They can access their money anytime. See, I was frustrated when I learned this because nobody showed me this growing up, and that's why I'm making this video. So you don't have to be wealthy to use this. So here's what we're covering: what an IUL is, how your money grows, how you access it, and why structure is everything. So what is an IUL? It's life insurance. See, most people think life insurance only for when you die, but with an IUL, you can actually utilize it while you're alive. It builds cash, your family stays protected, your money grows, and you can access it tax-free. And when you use it, there's still no tax bill. That's it. So before we go into more of what an IUL is, first you have to understand the three tax buckets. So there's tax now. This is your savings account, money market, CDs, stocks, real estate. There's tax later. There's 401k, 403b, 457, TSP, IRA, and then there's tax-free. Tax-free is your municipal bonds, Roth IRA, and cash value life insurance. So now that you understand how taxes work, now I'm going to show you where most people place their money. There's three places, four unless you're talking about under a mattress. So there's fixed. This is your checking account, savings account, money markets, CDs. It grows safe, but it grows super slow. Then there's variable. It has high risk, so it goes up and down depending on how the market does. This is where most people put their 401ks, your stocks, mutual funds, ETF, cryptocurrency, and then there's indexed. Indexed, you have your fixed index, annuities, or an indexed universal life insurance policy. That's what IUL stands for. You can see at this line right here, the red line is what most people do. They put their money in variable accounts like your 401k. It goes up and down with the market like a roller coaster. There's good years, there's some bad years. Now, the blue line is a fixed account. It just stays flat, it barely grows. Then the green line, which is an index account. It's like stepping on stairs. Each step you climb, it gets higher and higher. Now that you've seen the three different types of accounts, would you rather have it in a fixed account where it barely grows? Would you rather have it in a variable account where it's up and down depending on the stock market? The index account, you can actually put your money in all three different places. Now that we went over how taxes work, we went over how the three different buckets. When you see the stock apps on your phone, you see all these different Dow Jones, you see the NASDAQ, but I want you to pay attention to the S&P 500 because this is where most of your money is tied to, especially if you have a 401k. And you might see that it's green or you might see that it's red. So why this matters for your money? This is where most people put their accounts. It's tied to a stock market index like the S&P 500, which is the top 500 Fortune companies and how they're performing. So whenever the stock market is green, everything is good. But whenever it's red, your money loses. You lose money literally overnight. This is what the S&P 500 has looked like for the past 20 years. In 2008, the stock market dropped almost 40%. With an IUL, you actually would have gained 0.3%. In 2015, the stock market dropped 0.7%, and if you had your money in IUL, you would have gained 0.3%. In 2018, negative 6%. In 2019, almost 20%. Again, if you have your money in an IUL, then all your money is protected. You wouldn't lose anything. This is what's appealing when it comes to the IUL. You won't lose any money in the market. Most people are not aware that in 2008, when the stock market dropped to 38%, you actually need 61% just to be able to break even, just to get back to where you started. You have two options when that happens. You can either keep working until the stock market gets to 61% just to break even, or you could just lose 38% of your money like that. Now let's talk about how indexing works in an IUL. So you have the floor and then you have the cap. The floor means if the market crashes, you don't lose anything. The cap is around 10%. That's the most that you can earn in a given year. So let's say the market's up 15%, you get 10%. The market's down 20%, you get 0. If the market's up 8%, then you get 8%. So protected below, capped, you're always moving forward no matter what. So let's talk about the differences. I'm going to put these side by side of 401k versus IUL, and then you can decide. So taxes on withdrawal with the 401k, yes. With an IUL, no. You lose money in a market crash with the 401k, yes. The IUL, no. Penalties to access your money early with the 401k, yes. With an IUL, no. Contribution limits with the 401k, yes. With an IUL, no. Tax-free retirement income with the 401k, no. With an IUL, yes. Access to money anytime with the 401k, no. With an IUL, yes. So here's how you actually use the money. You don't withdraw it, you actually borrow against it. So let's say you have $100,000 of cash value. You want to take out a participating loan. When you take out a participating loan, that loan charges 5%, but your money's still earning 8%. So the money never stops working even while you're using it. So you could use this to pay off debt, invest, business, family needs. When you borrow money in the form of a participating loan, you actually get paid the 3% interest. You might hear Dave Ramsey say this is a scam, and I just want to be completely transparent with you. Dave Ramsey has done a lot of good, especially the snowball effect. I actually implement that strategy myself, but when it comes to cash value life insurance, Dave Ramsey's just completely out of his element. So what he's talking about is badly structured policies. This is a badly structured IUL. For example, let's say you put $1,000 a month, $900 goes to insurance costs and the death benefit charges, and then only $100 goes to your cash value. So in that instance, when Dave Ramsey says this is a scam, I actually agree with him. So it's very important that it's structured properly. You have someone that actually knows what they're doing. There's agents that set this up wrong intentionally because they get paid more on the death benefit, or they just don't know what they're doing. So make sure you're working with someone who is an expert and knows exactly how to structure it. So what you want to do is actually the opposite. So here's the right setup of how you want this structured. It's the same habit. This person's contributing $1,000 per month. Now only $100 is going towards the death benefit, and then $900 is going towards cash value that they can use and access it tax-free for whatever. Same money, completely different outcome. Other thing about the IULs is that it's very flexible with your policy funding. This is an example of a 40-year-old male that has a $173,000 death benefit. He's contributing $1,000 per month. So that's $12,000 for the year. That's the max that he could put in. The target is $2,500. That's the amount that he can put in and still accumulate cash value. And then the minimum is the very least that he can contribute per year just to keep the policy in place. So there's going to be no cash value. What you learned today, you learned the 3 tax buckets. Most people only use 2. You learned the floor and the cap. You grow without losing money. You learned about fixed, index, variable, how loans keep your money growing even while still using it. You learned about proper structure and policy design, premium flexibility. If you want to learn more about this, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to be creating more videos like this. And if you want to see what your numbers could possibly look like, hit the link in the bio down below.